Thank you for tuning into the Faceless Podcast. I go by the name of Shepherd. My friends call me Sheps. You can call me whatever you want, as long as it's not Oi. Let's see how it goes. Before we go any further, again, this is just going to be a brief one. Just a quick one, throwing it out there. Scroll up, like, share, subscribe. You already know the drill. You know the drill. Let's spread the message. Spread. This is my spreading face. Spread the message. Okay. Thank you guys for the continuous love. Appreciate it. Now, what I want to talk about, do you know what it is? It feels like it's late, but it's not late. Like, I was just waiting to see what transpires of the situation. So basically, a lot of you will know that recently 50 Cent put out a post saying he's going to vote for Trump because Joe Biden's tax plans are crazy. He wants to take 62% of your earnings past a certain point. That is ridiculous. Like, before I even go into anything else, that is ridiculous. Imagine for every pound you earn, you give 62p to the government after a certain point. Do you know what it is? For you to see how ridiculous it is, I want you to do an exercise. So, okay, so let's do it this way. Next time you get paid, or you get your money in, however you get it in, after the first £700, for example, or after the first 50% of whatever your salary is, the rest of the 50%, take away 62% of it and go give it to, well, just anyone, really. Let's do the exercise. Are you down? If you're down to do the exercise, let me know how it goes. Do you know what? Send me your reaction videos and I'll make a compilation video. Next time you get paid, end of the month, next time you get paid, after 50%, and remember, this is before you've paid for bills, this is before you've paid for anything. So after 50% of whatever you've earned, and do you know what it is? I'll even make it more fair. So we already get taxed in this country. So take away whatever percentage would take that last 50% and bring it up to 60%, if that makes sense. So if you get taxed 20% on all your salary, do 20 minus 62%, and then whatever's left over, take that additional away. 42%, if my maths is correct. Is my maths correct? Now, tell me how you feel. So 50 Cent's got every right to be like, yo, this is ridiculous. And remember, this is not someone who's paying 0% tax. This is someone who is probably paying around 50% anyway. So he's saying, you know what? 50%, okay, cool. But 62%? You're taking me for a joke now. So, again, a lot of people are one-issue voters. He said, you know what? I'll vote for Trump. Partially, I think he was trolling. 50 Cent, I was about to call him 50%. 50 Cent knows how to troll. The guy is a genius when it comes to trolling. Let me ask you a question. If you was born after 2003, 2004, let's say 2005, who's Ja Rule? Who is Ja Rule? You don't know, why? Because 50 Cent and Eminem demolished Murder Inc. And he done that by trolling. Eminem was coming with the lyrics and dismantling one by one Benzino. All of them got the smoke. 50 Cent knew how to troll. He knows how to do. He's so good at doing it. So part of my thinking is the whole time he's doing this, he just thinks, you know what, I could do it for a bit of attention right now. All right, politics again. But again, I don't want to assume his intentions. He could genuinely be looking to vote for Trump, which vote for whoever you want to vote for. So number one, he's come out and he said, look, he's voting for Trump. Number two, he's got a valid reason. 62% tax is ridiculous. Now, what's happened is, all right, let me make sure I'd say this properly. So, earlier on in the year, you do remember the interview that Charlemagne... Is my moustache bending this way? I don't understand. I get easily distracted. So, earlier on in the year, you remember the interview Joe Biden did with Charlemagne, or as Webby likes to call him, Charlemagne Magoo, where Joe Biden says, and I think it was a joke in all fairness, but as J. Cole said, all jokes contain truth in them. If you are still deciding whether to vote for me or Trump, you're not black. And people said, no, that's ridiculous. It was a joke. Fast forward. 50 Cent's done this now. His ex-girlfriend, Chelsea Handler, however you pronounce her surname, Handler, I think that's correct. She's now come out on Jimmy Fallon saying, I had to remind the guy he was black. She put up a tweet, he used to be my favourite ex-boyfriend. And she's like, I had to remind him he was black. I think she was being serious, but with a bit of satire in there as well. But again, the fact that she's brave enough to even come out and say, and this is why, you see, this is why I don't understand these people that are for critical race theory, these people that are Black Lives Matter protesting, these people that are complaining that, oh, the white man is holding us back, the white man this, the white man that. When the white man actually says something racist, you're there. That's what was happening. Chelsea Handler said, I had to remind 50 Cent that he's black. You can't vote for Trump. She even suggested again, which I think might have been a joke, that she would pay him to not vote for Trump. She'll pay his taxes. I don't know if she's making enough money to be able to cover them taxes, but she's very successful. She could probably cover that 62%. That's illegal. You can't pay for someone to vote, but she now knows that. And she even suggested she'll pay him in other ways. No? You haven't got a dirty mind. That's what she meant. Well, it's a joke. We take it in jest. But the underlying point here is how dare you dare me? How dare, forget the race, but I will bring it in. But forget the race for the time being. How dare someone tell you you're not the race you are, or remember your race, you're voting for this person, when you've looked at it and you said, you know what, his policies and his interests align with my own. Or not even that. I don't even think it was, if we are to take what 50 was saying seriously, I don't even think he said, I'm voting for Trump because I like Trump. It was, I'm voting for Trump because what Biden is doing is ridiculous. So it wasn't a vote for Trump per se, it was against Biden. And now you've got the beautiful... No, do you know what? I've got a question. The black sisters out there that are always getting into the brothers for liking white girls. Where's the rage? Where's the rage? You telling... You saying you can't tell our black king who he can and can't vote for. This is why it makes me laugh. The lack of consistency. You're preaching to people all day that white people are inherently racist, critical race theory, anything they do is because of racism, all of this, all of that. But when you now get the chance to actually stand up for yourselves and go, Chelsea, you can't tell us how to think. You're there. How does that make sense to you? Make it make sense to me, because it does not make sense at all. Now, on the back end of that, apparently they've had a conversation and 50's backtracked and they said, no, it was a joke or whatever it is. I am voting for Biden. Tell everyone I'm voting for Biden, rah, 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 rah. Which I'll put the clip of that in the description section below. So now, it's amazing. It's amazing because the people that proclaim to be black supremacists or black people first or let's stamp down the man or the white man or the white woman trying to tell us how to behave. You're sitting here condoning the exact thing you came here. How? How is this possible? Or as one of my friends from school said, why? It doesn't make sense. This is why. Do you know what it is? Yeah. Think whatever you want to think. You could be right or wrong because at the end of the day, the truth's subjective. So one of us is going to be right, one of us is going to be wrong. Or if it's just opinions, it's just opinions. Everyone's got one. But when you're now trying to teach critical race theory in the schools, and there's the MP who completely went against it in the House of Parliament, and I do apologize, I forget her name, I'm going to get it up. Now you've got people going against critical race theory. Now you're calling her a coon, you're calling her a sellout. Aren't you selling out when you allow even these jokes to be made? Because it's on your head. You can hate Trump. Like, you cannot like Trump. I'm not saying that go like Trump. You can hate Trump. But what happened to we think for ourselves? And this is why I took issue with it, because I promote diversity of thought. If Chelsea had said, look, 50, you don't know what you're voting for when you vote for Trump. Let me break down the policies. Let me break down how this is against what you want. Let me break down why Biden's better for you. I would have been more than happy with that. You're engaging in an intellectual exchange of thoughts. Policy A versus policy B. Policy C versus policy D. What this person is versus, like, what has this person achieved versus what has this person achieved for your demographics. Even if she said, look, you're a black man, Biden's interests align more with your demographic, cool. But to just say, remember, you're black, you can't vote for Trump. And we're sitting here having it. But to be fair, she did get backlash. But I'm yet to see anyone in the woke community or anyone in the BLM community call her out. If you've got the evidence, DM me the evidence, I'll stand corrected. It's cool. I don't want to be writing this. I just think it's funny that the same people that will sit there all day and tell you the white man's the reason the black man's not successful, the same people that will tell you that they're oppressed, the same people that will tell you this, they were nowhere to be seen when Chelsea Handler's doing all of this stuff. What more? Well, like, do you know what it is? I was speaking to my mum the other day, and I was like, you can tell if someone rates you or not by how they take in information you give them. You can tell if someone respects you by how they take in information that you give them. Like, if you're telling someone, look, do things this way, do things that way, and even if they disagree, but they're sitting there, they're engaged, they're thinking through what you're saying, and no, I still disagree, that person probably respects you. But if you're telling them, do this, do that, and you could either be right or you could be wrong, it doesn't matter, but they just, yeah, cool, yeah, I hear you. They don't respect you. So this has been more than one occasion when people on the Democratic side of the argument have shown us they do not respect us black people. Why are you still fighting their corner? It makes zero sense. I'm not saying go vote for Trump. Vote independent. How about that? Go vote independent if you want. I'm not saying like Trump. What I'm saying is, how can you, in good faith, continue to support this nonsense? Now, whether because 50, again, he knows how to troll. He could be trying to get back in there, so he could have, when he called her, tell her, yeah, I'm voting for Biden, just to open that door. But really and truly, he's going to vote for Trump. Because, again, the guy's a businessman first. He would not be as rich as he is if it wasn't for that. Or he could have just been trolling. He just wants some extra attention. And I think she's got a stand-up coming as well. They could have even planned it. I don't know. But the ideas are there. The ideas. I was just watching Flavor and 2 with Akar Singh, Andrew Schultz, Alex Media, and the rest of the cast. No disrespect to them, the names just completely slipped my mind. And it was bringing up a good point that Bill Burr brought up as well. And he was like, why is it that every single time, and I'm butchering this, by the way, don't quote me this, is that it's always the rich white women that are trying to tell minorities that they're oppressed and how to behave. To me, it's just funny. I don't think it's always them, but to me, it's funny that the person you claim to be oppressing you is the person that you're following to get out of oppression. It makes no sense. Zero sense. But, hey. Think how you want to think. Just know. I don't know. Am I talking nonsense? Let me know in the comments. Have I got a point? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. It's the Faceless Podcast. I go by the name of Shepherd. My friends call me Sheps. Call me whatever you want. As long as it's not we can have a discussion. Have a good day.